Welcome to Rum in Real Estate, episode 85. Today, we are going to talk about my favorite unique features that I come across in homes. By unique, I mean like if I'm walking through a house and I see these things, I'm just compelled to point them out because I think they're neat, they're interesting. Some of them are relics of the past that I think could still be useful today, but for some reason they just don't build them like that anymore. So I've had this list running for a while, and I just wanted to share them with you today, and I just want to get your comments on it to see if any of these things maybe fascinate you as much as they fascinate me. But first, we got to talk about rum. I have gotten a special rum from a friend of mine. My good friend Shane in Houston brought this to me. This is Cypress Creek Reserve, the gold on the, you can see right there. He did have some before he gave it to me. I have not tried it yet. But he knows of my history with Texas rum, American rum in general, but Texas rum in particular. We had a very interesting interaction with one that still is talked about today. It was absolutely horrendous. And so he said, I got a Texas rum you need to try. And I said, okay, we're going to give it a shot on the show. So Cypress Creek Distillery is it's straight out of Texas. It's more of the gold color, so it's a pretty good start. Not like this crap back here, but it smells like a Texas rum. Shane, let's see if this one makes the mark. The other one that we had was actually just called Texas Spiced Rum. It was the most basic name ever, and there was anything but basic about it. It was horrendous. It didn't even make it on this show because I had it before I even created it. But Cypress Creek Reserve, let's put the bottle here. Let's see. Not bad. Not bad. This is not bad, dude. I am pleasantly surprised by this. This renews my faith in the ability of Americans and Texans to make rum. How about that? I can't give it my worth the purchase price or not worth the purchase price score because I didn't purchase it. But if I'm going to guess, it was probably about $30-ish. And if that's the case, I would say that would be worth the money if I'm just guessing what this thing would be worth. So, right, we got another good American rum. We're turning the corner on American-made rums. This Texas rum is very good. Cypress Creek Reserve. I got to get my coaster here. I don't want to ruin my desk. Whew, I like that. I'm going to leave that right there. Any of y'all in Texas watching this, apparently you can go visit the distillery, and that's how he got this. I would say, if nothing else, go check it out. This is really good. Heck, I might finish before I finish this show. All right. So, top 5 unique features of these homes that I walked through. They're not in any particular order, but one of them is sunken dens. And you find these a lot in older homes, sometimes these contemporary homes. I just like the idea just to create some aesthetic interest that you have sunken areas of the house. And a lot of times it's the den, or actually here in Lake at White Oak, there's some houses that have like the foyer is raised higher than everywhere else in the house. Just having some different level foundations, I find it interesting. I know a lot of people probably don't, but maybe in my defense, I walk through so many houses that when I see something like that, it's a little different. I find it to be a little unique. And it creates a different feel of a room. It really does. And if you have just a den that's sunken, back in the 70s it was a big deal. And I still think they're neat. They kind of create, even in an open area, say an open floor plan, if the den is sunk, it still creates an element of separation while creating that open feel. It kind of does both. And I find them to be unique, and I enjoy them. I think they're really neat. Another one I have here, I have everything written down in my book, are these, I like to see new homes do this where the closets, like the master closet has a door that passes through straight to the laundry room. And you go straight from the laundry room, sometimes, into the mudroom. And I think this is brilliant because if you're, you don't have to go walk around the house to go bring your clothes to the laundry room, you can just go right through your closet door. Boom, you're in the laundry room. Drop your stuff there, and it's an efficient use of space. You're going to put a laundry room somewhere anyway. The only drawback to them is that you do lose a wall for hanging stuff in your closet, but when you see these things built, they have compensated by making the closets huge because they're using some of that wall for a door. So I don't think sometimes they're losing much space, but if you like to have all three walls to be able to put closet stuff in storage, you lose a little bit of that. I still find the pass-through from the closet to the laundry an interesting feature, and I do find myself pointing it out a lot. And if for someone that hasn't seen that before, I never get a remark that's, "Oh man, I hate that." And they all think it's amazing and it's cool. It's neat. Two of these are more like functional features I like to see, and one of them are, houses have shutters, but functioning shutters. So if you have a house and the point of shutters was to protect your windows from storms, but a lot of times shutters now they're ornamental. But when I come across a house where the shutters are actually functional, and I'll even go out there and I'll try and get it to make it work, it's kind of reminding people what the point of the shutters were to begin with. It's not just the thing that makes the window dressing. They are and were a functional piece of the home. And when I find a functional shutter, I have to point it out. Because when it comes to these storms, especially the nonsense we've been dealing with already this year and hurricane season coming, if you have functional shutters, use them. That's what they're there for. And you paid money for them, so you might as well use them. And I have to point them out because you don't see them often anymore. But I know when I get to put shutters on my house, they are going to be functional for that reason. Man, this rum's good. This rum is good. Very good rum. Way to go, Cypress Creek. Another one is, I think this is my favorite, and I'm just going to do it now. It's the ironing board that's built into the wall. So you have the door in the laundry room, you open the door, and then the ironing board comes out. It's like a half ironing board, but depending on how big the door is, it could be a full-size one. I don't see why this went away. Because if you're ironing stuff, you're going to need an ironing board. And then you have to go buy one. It's clunky, and you try to store it somewhere. Then the legs never lock when you put it in. You hurt yourself. You pinch your fingers. Is that just me? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I find ironing boards, just having them out and trying to store them, especially in like a small laundry room, just having it in the wall with a little door is perfect. And you could put stuff in front of it if you need to, like if you have like a rolling rack. And if you need your ironing board, just open the door. Got an ironing board. And new ones now will actually have the plug in there to plug in your iron. So everything is hidden. And it's just a feature that, like I said, that's one of the relics that we don't see much today. I see them in a lot of like high-end custom homes. But your standard, run-of-the-mill neighborhood now, the new ones don't have this feature in there. And I think they're extremely functional. And I think a lot of people would appreciate them today. They were popular in the 60s and 70s. They fell out of favor, I guess, 20, 30 years ago, and I think they should need to make a comeback. The wall ironing board needs to make a comeback. Vote now. Should the wall ironing board come back? Another one of my favorite features is on the fireplace. When you have a wood mantle and it has the decorative molding that comes around the side of the mantle, sometimes the decorative molding that comes down the sides are actually little tiny doors, and you can open them up, and there's a little cavity there. And usually on one side they'll have the key for the gas to turn the gas on and off, which is cool. It's not being hidden inside of a cabinet on the side of the fireplace. It's actually right there in this little closet thing. But on the other side, or on both sides, you can store some of your fire pokers and like your little shovel for the ash. It's just like a little cubby hole. It's a little secret compartment. And every time I find one and I point it out, it's never one of those things that just gets a kind of reaction. A lot of people are kind of, they're curious about it. They think it's neat. And you could, He could store whatever. I had a guy who stored money in it. I wouldn't store money near a fireplace, but he did. I got one more bonus one for you. I know I said top 5. We're going to do 6. And this is not something that's like super unique it's not as unique as say like sunken floors, but I do find myself always pointing them out because I just think they're a really neat feature, and I think a lot more people would appreciate them, especially when they know how functional they are, but also how beautiful they look, and not really many people know what they cost, and that is plantation shutters. Plantation shutters on the inside actually function 2 ways. Not only do you pull the louver to make this, the shutter open and shut like this, but you can actually take each section of the shutter and open them up so the entire window can be open to the room. And a lot of times people don't even know that. And it's amazing how many times I've done that. I said, look, you can use the plantation shutter. Oh, that's great. But you can open the whole window. Then they start to get impressed because they know they're now not forced to just enjoy the window just with louvers. You can always open the shutters, and they can be expensive because a lot of times they're custom made. Either they're vinyl or they're wood. However, when I see a plantation shutter in a house, I find myself always pointing them out, showing them how they work, and explaining why these things are very valuable, especially in a home that may be priced just like everything else. If you have plantation shutters, you're actually getting a bonus. So those are my top 5 plus 1 favorite unique features of homes that I come across. Again, these are things that I always find myself just pointing out because we don't see them every day, and some of them I find to be more functional than we give them credit for. But are there any that I missed? Leave your comments down below, and if I get a couple that I'm like, yeah, I really messed up, I should have put that on the list, let me know, and I'll do another video with those, because I mean, this is the fun part of the job. This is the fun part of real estate, is the uniqueness of homes and features that we can find. So thank you very much for joining me. This was Rum and Real Estate, episode 85. We were drinking Cypress Creek Reserve from Texas. Shane, thank you very much. I appreciate the donation you made. This one was very good. As you can see, it's pretty much gone before the episode ends. Thank you, and have a great weekend.